What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back to ThrashManiac99, the YouTube channel, and I am back for yet another album review. Yes, less than 2 weeks. For once, I'm actually back on track a little bit with the album reviews, and boy do I got a good one for you guys, because I am here to review one of my most anticipated albums of the early part, the first quarter of 2021, and that is the new album from Swedish thrash masters The Crown, and the album is called Royal Destroyer. So, little brief history lesson for you guys out there that have never heard of this band, The Crown. Well, The Crown originally started in 1990 as a band called Crown of Thorns, playing originally blackened melodic death metal, kind of in the vein of bands like Dissection, At the Gates in particular, kind of playing that style for a couple of albums back in the mid-90s. Well, that all changed when there was another band called Crown of Thorns that threatened to sue them unless they changed their name, so they changed their name to The Crown, and it became a completely different band, so I don't even consider the original Crown of Thorns albums as canon to what we're talking about here, because it's two completely different bands. So with The Crown, started in about 1997, 1998, and they put out a debut, Hell Is Here, and then their second album, which came out in 2000, Death Race King, which is probably my favorite album from The Crown, just showcasing their brutal onslaught of Swedish thrash metal that's inspired by German thrash and Bay Area thrash and Brazilian thrash, kind of molded together with a little bit more melody. And a lot of people tend to call The Crown a melodic death metal band, and I don't really think that's accurate. I always felt that The Crown has been a thrash metal band from first album to here. And now we're talking about the latest one, Royal Destroyer. So this album's 11 tracks, about 46 minutes, so for 11 songs, 46 minutes, fairly short for the most part. There are quite a few short songs and quite a few long songs, as we're going to get into. We kick things off with the shortest song of the album at just barely 80 seconds, Baptized in Violence. I thought it was a great, short, sweet to the point, killer opener to get things rolling. And then to keep that to keep things rolling, we get into the second track, Let the Hammering Begin. Basically a message to let you know that, hey, this album is for real, it's going to punch you in the face with a jackhammer, and it's not going to stop. Well, there are moments where things do slow down, and we will get to those songs when we get to it. But Let the Hammering Begin, actually the second longest song of the album at about 6 minutes 14 seconds, yet it was fast, furious, and vicious to the point throughout the entire song. It never got me bored whatsoever. Then we get into the third track of the album, Motor Death, which was the first single of the album, and once I heard this single, I'm like, I can't wait to hear the rest of this. I thought this was an excellent song, an excellent way to get things really going as far as promotion for the album and getting people excited, people like me getting excited for it. And also when you read the lyrics, this song almost feels like it should have been on Death Race King and in standard tuning, and it would have fit in perfectly on that album because musically it has that vibe on it, even though the guitars are in like C tuning, drop C, I believe. I mean, most of this album's in drop C tuning, which is standard Swedish melodic death metal tuning, but these guys take it but do it in a thrash metal sense, and I feel it worked. And Motor Death was certainly a track to kind of wrap everything together with the first two songs in a nice, neat little bow, and brutal, fast. Like I said, lyrically, it sounds like a song that could have been written on Death Race King. Then again, The Crown have always kind of had a little bit of a racing element in their lyrics, even though it's mostly satanic and death-based. There is some, like, race car-based stuff, which is why I really like this band. Then after that, we get to the longest song of the album at almost 6.5 minutes, Ultra Faust, which is a little bit more mid-tempo, but it's a hell of a mid-tempo song, and it definitely, like, carries you on a journey throughout much of the song. It just I don't know what else to say. Ultra Faust was a great mid-paced track with a lot of vicious vocal delivery. After all, Johan, the vocalist, definitely showing why he's one of the best Swedish thrash vocalists out there. And honestly, he should be the one that's in The Haunted, if you ask me. But then after that, we kind of hit a bit of a bump in the road. We get into the song Glorious Hades, which is one of the slower songs of the album, a little over 5 minutes. It's not a bad song, it's a good song, but compared to much of this album, it doesn't quite hold a candle to pretty much the rest of this album. To me, this is like maybe the one or the first of two possible throwaway tracks that, to me, just didn't hit me in the sweet spot like the first 4 tracks did. But boy, do things pick right back up, as that was pretty much the first half of the album. The first half was mostly about establishing longer songs, some parts kind of carrying you on an epic journey to an extent. Now we get to the second half where things are right hitting in your face, sweet to the point. And we kick that second half off with Full Metal Justice, which I'm shocked there's not been a song titled this, to my knowledge. If anybody knows that there's a song called Full Metal Justice, I guess, let me know. But regardless, yeah, Full Metal Justice, 3-minute onslaught of brutal thrash to really, like I said, like this whole album just punches you in the face and doesn't give a shit. Scandinavian Satan, another short one, under 3 minutes, but it's a catchy one, especially with the final lyrics. Scandinavian fucking Satan. It was amazing delivery towards the end of the song. Devoid of Light, another thrasher that I really enjoy. This album's packed full of thrashers. And then we get to We Drift On, which was the second single released for this album, and this is more kind of like a Viking thing. Like lyrically it feels like a Viking song, and while I didn't like this as much as I liked Motor Death in terms of the singles, I thought it was a pretty good song, although this is maybe the second weakest track of the album. I mean, it's still a really good song, it's just when matched up to everything else on the album for the most part, again, doesn't quite hold up in my opinion. Beyond the Frail, which was another long one at a little over 5 minutes. This one, tons of blast beats. Like, The Crown does blast beats, I think, better than most thrash bands do, apart from maybe Warbringer. But Beyond the Frail, a lot of catchiness. And also, a lot more melodic. Maybe, as far as the thrashy songs, probably the most melodic song of the album. And then we end off with another short, sweet, to the point thrasher, an Absolute Monarchy, which was a nice, great way to close out this amazing album. So, spoiler alert, overall, I thought Royal Destroyer by The Crown was one hell of a thrash album. Already best thrash album of the year, but I got a feeling Evil might eclipse it because those 2 singles have been great. But aside from that, in all seriousness though, The Crown, Royal Destroyer, like I said, Glorious Hades, maybe the weakest song, maybe the one throwaway song of the album, but it's still a good song nonetheless. And then We Drift On, it feels more like in tune with something like, I don't know, Amon Amarth rather than The Crown to me personally. But everything else on this album is pure 100% sounding like The Crown. Thrash metal with melody, some death metal, some black metal, kind of wrapped up into a nice, neat little package, and that's how you get this sound. So overall, if I were to score this album, I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. It's not quite there, like I said. Glorious Hades was maybe the one big throwaway song, and We Drift On, while a really good song, felt more like a Amon Amarth song rather than a song from The Crown. But aside from that, everything else on this album's perfect, if you ask me. The album cover's great, the music very heavy, very intense. The production, I actually appreciated the production on this, especially the kick drums sounded like machine gun fire, which I really liked too. So 9 out of 10 for Royal Destroyer, by the Crown. What did you guys think of Royal Destroyer by the Crown? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm not sure what album I'm doing next, but I think it will end up being the album that's winning the poll over on the community tab of my YouTube channel. And it's looking like it's going to be the cover album, Inspirations by Saxon. When will that review come out? That remains to be seen. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Horns high, and I will see you next time. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Hey, can you fix this for me, please? I sure can. Okay, let's see what we got to drink. Ah, fucking perfect. Ah, some good old Powerade. Delicious. No, not really. You know what I like to have every morning? A nice sandwich with some Clover Valley creamy peanut butter. But you know what else I want to do with this? I want to dip my balls in it! Let's see what we got in here. Damn it, we don't even have Spam in here! Whoa!